How's it going, everybody? We're here back making videos again like I promised. And in this video, we are going to be counting down my top 10 picks for my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Now, you might be thinking, Brayden, Scarlet and Violet come out either today or tomorrow, because I don't know when the fuck you're editing this. But how are you going to do that when the games haven't even come out yet? Because I'm not going to include them in this list, because I have tried to somehow keep myself relatively spoiler-free for the entire time that Scarlet and Violet have been getting announced, getting released. The only things that I've seen are the terrestrialized shit, because that was in a trailer, and then the bicycle fuckers, because that was in a trailer. I actually have no clue of any of the other Pokemon in the game, but with all that being said, here is my list of the top 10 best Pokemon in my honest opinion, with the only two caveats being one legendary and one starter Pokemon, because I want to make other videos. I just want to make other videos of my top 10 legendary Pokemon, my top 10 starter Pokemon, and you don't know if I'm ever going to do that, because I never keep any of my promises. Yeah! At number 10, we have Lugia, which is, if you are stupid and don't know, the box art legendary for Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Soul Silver, because Soul Silver is a remake of Silver, you fucking idiot. And the big main thing in the Pokemon 2000 movie, which I have not seen in probably 15 years, but it still holds a decent place in my heart, just because all of the Pokemon movies up until probably Key of Arceus do, because I was a kid. I grew up with them, so of course they would have some impact on me, right? And all around, Lugia is actually just a really cool Pokemon, with the fact that it's just got two big hands ready to give you a big old hug. Its moves are cool, its soundtrack is cool, the soundtrack in the movie is cool, and Pokemon Soul Silver was one of the first Pokemon games that I beat, even though I played all of the other Pokemon games up to that point. Most of the time I was getting help from my brother, or I was getting help from the fact that the game itself was already almost beaten. Pokemon Soul Silver and Gen 4 in general were the first Pokemon games that on my own, with no external help, I was able to beat. At number 9, we have something that really surprised me, because I wasn't going into Sword and Shield, I was not really the biggest fan of it, but the more I played it, the more I really, really enjoyed it. In fact, that was the first Pokemon game that I went out of my way to complete the entire Pokedex legitimately without having to hack in any Pokemon. And one of the coolest fucking Pokemon in the entire game is Dragapult, which is my number 9. I know there was like that fucking 15-second interlude before I actually told you that it was Dragapult, but you've been seeing footage of Dragapult, so hopefully you knew that it was Dragapult. But this Pokemon is cool as all shit. It's sitting there, it just shoots its fucking offspring at everybody. That's metal as fuck. Like, what other Pokemon do you know that's like, you know what? These little guys are pretty shit. Durf, 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 durf. It's fucking amazing, because I haven't seen any other Pokemon that do that. Like, the only thing I can think of that uses its offspring, I'm actually thinking about it. I can't think of any other Pokemon that use their offspring as a fucking attack. I mean, like, Kangaskhan kind of, but only Mega Kangaskhan, and only then, like, it attacks with you. It's not like it's fucking launching its fucking kids at you. But it's cool regardless, and it looks cool. Like, it's not just cool because it shoots its fucking abortions at you. It's cool because it looks fucking cool. He looks so funny with his little fucking hands, but then you're like, holy shit, this Dragon Ghost motherfucker actually kind of fire. At number 8, we've got Dedenne. Now, I'm surprised that I don't have that many more Pokemon from Pokemon X and Y on this list, just because that was the first game that I actually shiny hunted in. That was the first game that I got a shiny in without having to, like, fucking either hack the game because I was a stupid fucking kid, or do really stupid shit to get. Because, like, within the first route, like, I walked into the forest in my original playthrough of Pokemon X and Y, and the first fucking encounter in that forest, the name is blanking on me. It's on screen. Fuck, there's probably gameplay of it on screen. Who fucking knows? But my first encounter was a shiny Kakuna. So I'm like, damn, this game is really cool. And then I put 300 hours into it. But I don't have that many cute Pokemon in my top 10 because, I don't know, cute Pokemon really aren't my thing. When I was playing with all of my friends, we would just play to beat the shit out of each other. So that's usually what the list consists of. Strong-ass fucking Pokemon. But out of all of the Pikachu clones, like aside from Pachirisu, Dedenne, which is the number 8 spot, I know I go on these tangents. I really should just go straight into the fact that it's fucking Dedenne, but fuck you. This is my video, not yours. But Dedenne is probably one of the cutest of all of the Pikachu clones. Even cuter than Pikachu, in my opinion. I can't stand that yellow fuck. I actually despise Pikachu. And Dedenne is a nice change from that pace because he's not a fat fucking rat. He's a fat fucking gerbil. And I like gerbils a lot more than I like rats. At number 7, we have Staraptor, which, out of all of the bird Pokemon, every generation's got one. Every generation will always have one. But Staraptor has always held a special place in my heart. Not only because he hits like a fucking truck. If you see yourself in a place with a Staraptor, just fucking run. It's easier to just run. It will catch up to you because it's one of the fastest fucking bird Pokemon. It is the strongest fucking bird Pokemon. You're fucked either way, but you might have a stronger chance against it versus fucking Hoot. I don't know. I did that out of order. Hoot would be easier to deal with than a Staraptor, but Hoot could hypnotize you. Staraptor would... You know, my fucking point here, the emo bird is cool as shit and I love it. At number 6, we have Chandelure, which I know there's a theme of gross-type Pokemon on this list so far. We've had 2, which, I mean, that's not a lot, but the fact that it's 2, it's weird. Chandelure is cool as shit. The lore behind Chandelure is amazing, no pun intended. The art behind Chandelure is amazing. And yeah, it's a glass cannon, sure. But, key word there, fucking cannon. Bro's special attack is insane. If you look at him funny and flick a water beam at him, like if you just flick a water droplet at Chandelure, you're dead. But until that happens, Chandelure will just sweep a fucking team just because it's a fucking Tuesday. I absolutely adore Chandelure, and I have since Pokemon Black and White 2. Like, in Pokemon Black and White, I didn't use it as much, but I saw how it was used in the Elite Four Pokemon Black and White. I'm like, holy shit. I need this fucking Pokemon. And then I got it, and now it's in my top 10 favorites. At number 5, we have the one starter on this list because I promised you one starter, and here we are. It is Grovyle. Now, you might be thinking, but Brayden, you named your cat after the Pokemon, the starter Squirtle. You said in your Pokemon Red video that Bulbasaur was your favorite. I said that Bulbasaur was my favorite Gen 1 starter. You'll see that eventually because there's going to be a top 10 starter Pokemon video one of these fucking days. But until then, we've got Grovyle. And for more reasons than most Pokemon on this list, Grovyle sits at the top of my starters. Just because, A, he looks fucking cool. And you might be thinking, well, why is it Grovyle and not Sceptile? Have you fucking played Mystery Dungeon? That's all I have to say. I don't have to explain myself to you. If you've played Mystery Dungeon, you understand why Grovyle's on this list and not Sceptile. I should elaborate on that, but I'm not going to because it's my list. Fuck you. At number 4, we have another Ghost-type Pokemon that was used in the Elite Four of a Pokemon game, Aegislash. Now, I thought, like, going into the trailers of Pokemon X and Y, that this was one of the coolest fucking Pokemon. And that's why it's the highest ranked fucking Gen 6 Pokemon on this list. Because it is the coolest fucking Pokemon in Generation 6. You might be thinking, but Brayden, it's just a sword. It's a fucking sword. What do you mean it's just a sword? That's why it's so cool. Because it's a fucking sword. You fucking idiot. Like, think about this shit, right? Think about this shit. You're a Pokemon trainer just doodling along on your fucking journey. And out of nowhere, here comes this fucking sword. Just a sword. What more do you want from me? That shit's just cool. At number 3, we have Absol. Now, Absol in and of itself, it's a pretty cool Pokemon. You look upon it, you fucking die. It is the embodiment of impending doom. And I love that. But at the same time, I love emo-looking fucking Pokemon. Absol, Staraptor, both look like you would meet them in a fucking Hot Topic. And I fucking love that because me fucking too. That's just why wouldn't... Like, Absol is one of the nicest Dark-type Pokemon in the sense that, yeah, it's also a glass cannon in the same vein that, like, Chandelure is, but it has far less weaknesses than Chandelure. And up until Generation 6, it had 2. Chandelure's got, like, fucking 30. Now, with Generation 6 came Mega Absol, which we're not going to talk about that much in this video because maybe I want to do a Mega video in the future, but I don't know. But Absol is just a really cool fucking Pokemon in the anime, in the games, and in the lore of Pokemon. I love it. Now, these next two, if you have been involved with Pulsewave, Ultimate Umbreon, Pokecard Awesomeness, any of the channels that I've ever had prior to Pulsewave, then these next two will not come as any surprise to you. Number 2 is Weasel. Now, you might be thinking, holy shit, Brayden, why Weasel? And my answer to you is I have no goddamn idea. I thought it would be... I was watching a lot of... I think it was Jaywitz at the time who did Hoppip. Some Pokemon card opening YouTuber had a mascot themed day where they would just open a pack or open a set of packs. And for me, at the time, I had a little Weasel figurine that you could control with a remote control. So Weasel was just the first Pokemon that came to my mind, and then from there, I would play games and use Weasel just because I'm like, oh, you know, why not? This is the mascot at the time of the channel, so why wouldn't I go ahead and see what the hype is that I put it on myself? I came to realize that Weasel actually was an amazing Pokemon. Aqua Jet, fucking Swift Swim, all of those two combined with the fact that he has a relatively decent attack stat for a non-evolved Pokemon. You give him a fucking Eviolite, get him to level 100, boost his special attack and his speed, even though his speed is already through the fucking roof, you're good. Like, he is actually a powerhouse to be reckoned with, and that's why I love him. Now, this will come to surprise to nobody. If you have been... when I say nobody, I mean I literally named my channel after this Pokemon back in 2015, and that is Umbreon. Now, I've always had an affinity for the evolutions. I've always loved Eevee. I've always thought the fact that you could evolve it into whatever you wanted was cool as shit. This was another case of, I've seen other YouTubers do it, so I'm going to do it too, where they would have an alliteration with their name. Tyranitar 2, Primetime Pokemon, so on and so on. So I thought, you know what? What is a cool adjective that can get a Pokemon? Ultimate Umbreon. Like, that's fucking cool. And then, from there, I just realized that Umbreon's a fucking tank. Like, Umbreon A is cool as shit. You can only evolve him at nighttime. You still have to be friends with him. But he's edgy as fuck and likes to be evolved at night. I like nighttime too. I'm recording this at 5:30 in the morning because I haven't fallen asleep yet. Umbreon is actually just so fucking cool. And I don't have to justify myself any more than he was my first genuine channel mascot. Like, yeah, Weasel's up there. Umbreon was the first Pokemon that I made merch of. Umbreon was the first Pokemon that I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, I love this fucking Pokemon. And I've been working on trying to make a top 10 video since 2013. I've never been able to get my definitive list of top 10 Pokemon in almost 10 years. But I thought with the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, I might as well nut up, shut up, and get this shit out. And I hope you guys did enjoy. This was a sporadic, random fucking video. And I don't know how well this microphone setup worked. I saw Brutal Moose do it once, so I thought I would do it too. With all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't know how many videos are going to be out in the future. I've been working on videos. I'm just really fucking lazy and really unmotivated. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Feel free to check out any of the other videos on the channel because there are like 60 of them and hopefully more to come. With all that being said, peace, guys.